Sometimes your child is acting up and you know you need to do something, but you just aren't quite sure what to do or how to go about it. Here are the 5 basic steps to disciplining a child that can give you a direction on how to do it effectively. Number 1, make expectations clear. First thing to do is to make sure your child is well aware of what you expect of them. You don't want to dole out discipline if your child didn't understand that what they did was inappropriate. If they did know it was wrong or unacceptable under the circumstances when they did it, then you need to go to number 2 on this list. If they didn't know, have a sit-down conversation and explain the problem so that the next time they will understand your expectations. Number 2, ask a question. There may be times when this will not be necessary, but many times you need to ask them why they did what they did, because there may be something you don't know. I have made this mistake several times. I assume right away that my children have done something against my instructions, but when they give me an explanation, then I realize they were using their brain, and I don't want to discourage that. For example, one day I told one of my children to load the dishwasher before they sat down to read. I got home from the store and the dishes were still in the sink, but the child was on the couch reading. Immediately I got mad and started to reprimand him. But once he started to explain the situation, it was obvious that I was in the wrong. The dishwasher basket was broken and keeping the spinner from moving in the bottom of it. My son explained that he knew Dad would need to look at it before the dishes could be washed, so he didn't load it yet. Oops. Okay, I'm glad he used his brain and thought through the situation, realizing that it wasn't appropriate to load the dishes just yet. So give your child a chance to explain the reason they didn't do what you asked before moving to step number 3. By the way, if you're writing these steps down, be sure to use a BASTION pen. There's a link in the description below. These are great pens and they make great gifts. Number 3, administer consequences. This may be the part that is most difficult because you need to know what kind of consequences go with what kind of misbehaviors. But don't worry, I'll address that in just a minute. The point is, once you get to this step, you know they knew what they did wrong when they did it, and you have eliminated the possibility that there was some mitigating circumstance that would cause them to have a good reason to have disobeyed you. Don't get angry. I know that's difficult sometimes. It certainly is for me. But remember that your child isn't perfect, just like you and I aren't perfect. It's helpful to give them the understanding that you are sad, not mad, that they made a bad choice. So now is the time to give out the consequence or discipline. In many circumstances, if you've already discussed the problem of a specific behavior with them ahead of time, you have also discussed what consequence will be for that particular behavior. But the key is that the behavior and consequence can be linked together in the mind of the child. Again, I'll address that here in a minute. Number 4, follow through. So your child has done something they know is wrong, you have given them a chance to explain, and have doled out the appropriate consequence. Sometimes at this point, you may be feeling like giving in, especially when you see that your child's unhappy with the outcome of their misbehavior and the consequence that they are now having to endure. But keep in mind, this is a learning process, and your following through with the consequence to the end will be what will teach them the lesson they need to learn, and will also establish trust between you and your child. So you're nearly done with the discipline process. Don't give up now. Follow through. Number 5, reconnect. This part is one of the most important parts of the whole process. Reconnect with your child by showing empathy that they had to endure the consequence and you feel for them. But you're also glad they have learned something from the experience and you believe they will do better in the future. So for example, say, I'm really sorry you had to miss your friend's birthday party today, and I know you're feeling bad about it, but I really believe that the next time you will take responsibility and do your assigned chores without being told. And now that you have done your chores, how about you come with me in the kitchen and we can make some cookies together? But you might be thinking, I'm not sure what kind of consequences to give that are appropriate for the behavior my child is displaying. So click on the screen now to see a video that explains exactly how to set up appropriate consequences. And please don't forget to subscribe. Parents, you can do this. I'll see you here next time.